that are coming from the people most involved in developing AI.
You just have to realize, to their credit, all these folks in AI are telling us we're creating something that's really dangerous. It's going to be really great too, but we're helpless at doing about it. That's to their credit what they're telling us, and yet we're doing nothing right now, and it's really disturbing.
The AI advancement continuing apace. We just heard from Alex Karp of Palantir about his company's continuing efforts. And today, ServiceNow announcing a redesigned AI platform utilizing agents for customers. ServiceNow also saying they expect to reach $1 billion in annual contract value for the AI business by the end of next year. That would be a quadrupling from current levels. Let's get out to Las Vegas, where John Ford is at the ServiceNow Knowledge 2025 conference with some special guests, John.
My experience in firsthand in San Jose.
Kelly, yeah, I'm in mid-conversation with Bill McDermott and Jensen Huang. Bill, CEO of ServiceNow. Jensen, of course, CEO of Nvidia. Thanks for having me back here at Knowledge 25. It seems bigger than it was last year and the year before. Let's jump right in, right? This is a room where it's happening right now with AI. You have this $1 billion Now Assist-driven target by the end of next year. Tell me, how much of that is ServiceNow working directly with customers' data? How much of it is Control Tower and your agents able to orchestrate even other competitors' apps?
Sure. John, first and foremost, I want to thank Jensen and the great Nvidia company, because ServiceNow would not be the company that it is without Jensen and without Nvidia. And so it's an honor to be with him today. Thank you, Jensen.
Thank you very much. And I would never miss a knowledge conference. Who doesn't love knowledge?
I love it. And so, John, we are the control tower for transformation in these enterprises. And what's happened is the 20th century software industrial complex is now consolidating onto the ServiceNow platform because it goes east to west across all the functions and north to south up and down the tech stack. And so we integrate with all the LLMs, the large language models. We obviously have our own built into our platform thanks to Nvidia. And so we welcome all data from all data sources in the enterprise so we can be that control tower. The big announcement with Nvidia today was the reasoning model that we've announced, and we want to be the workflow data fabric that allows all that data to come through ServiceNow, and of course everything in ServiceNow is powered by Nvidia.
Jensen, I'm glad that Bill mentioned this reasoning model in the partnership, because you've been saying for a while, we're not just about the chips. You know, this is platforms, software is included. I want to talk to you a lot about software. Tell me about the role of companies like ServiceNow, who you've been working with for longer than the kind of open AI-driven hype around this, in building the sort of value and productivity necessary to realize the vision you've been talking about.
First of all, AI has reinvented the entire computing stack. And agentic AI, these agents, are the most complex of software that the world's ever built. Remember, this is software that can understand almost any content, any PDF file you give it. It can watch video, it can look at websites, go into your database, look at SQL. These agents understand data of all kinds, raw data, unstructured data, structured data. It can reason about solving problems. It can think. And so this software stack is insanely complicated. The reason why we do it is so that we can help the world build new software on top of this new computing platform called GPUs. And so that's the reason why we have to do it. Working with ServiceNow has been incredible. 6 years ago, we shared a vision that ServiceNow can very much be the enterprise AI operating system. And on this operating system, we would have all kinds of incredibly smart AIs that help us do work. And it's accessing data from all these different sources, just as Bill was saying earlier. Today, we announced this brand new reasoning AI model. It's called April Nemotron. It's fast, it's smart, and it's integrated deeply into the ServiceNow platform. So really exciting day.
So your communication about the AI vision has been consistent over years, but the facts on the ground keep changing. The goalposts keep moving. You just had to have a huge write-off over these issues of what chips exactly you can sell into China for example, how much does it affect the ecosystem and NVIDIA's influence over how AI pans out when the rules are changing?
Well, you know, the world's dynamic today. You've just got to stay agile. We took a huge write-off, about $5.5 billion. China is a very large market. It's probably going to be a $50 billion AI market in a couple of 2-3 years. It would be a tremendous loss not to be able to address it as an American company. It's going to bring back revenue, it's going to bring back taxes, it's going to create lots of jobs here in the United States. And of course, you know, we just have to stay agile. Whatever the policies are of the government, whatever is in the best interest of our country, we'll support, and we'll stay agile and keep moving on. The market for AI is just gigantic. Remember, enterprise AI that we're going after is brand spanking new. The $1 billion that Bill is going after for next year, that's the first $1 billion of enterprise AI. There's a $1 trillion opportunity out there to revolutionize the way companies are built and the products that companies make. Not just the way they run, but the products that they make. Every part of it is going to be revolutionized by agentic AI.
Bill, you told me something 2 weeks ago as part of earnings that I want to revisit.
Sure.
Because, you know, in Morgan Brennan's conversation with Alex Karp yesterday around their earnings, it came back up again, CEO of Palantir. And it was around the monetization of AI and how right now, sure, the model creators and whatnot have to pay a lot to get those things going. That's maybe why they're not profitable. But you're able to be really efficient in how you actually provide AI value to customers. What's the delta? How do you think strategically about how much more value through partnerships like this, through your internal work, you can get out of the hardware resources and how that translates into profitability?
John, you got to think of it this way. Between now and 2030, there will be a $22 trillion business impact from AI in the global economy. $4 trillion of OpEx will come out of these enterprises. So the prize is gigantic. We are also putting a different spin on AI than, let me sell you an AI for a silo somewhere in a company. We're talking about autonomous, agentic AI that goes across the entire corporation. So what's different about us is many companies want the predictability of the number of users that will be using this software so they can budget and plan for it. That's fine. But also with AI, we give all of the AI to the customer on our platform, and thousands of use cases for free. And at some point, when they've used up their tokens, yes, a consumption model kicks in, but that's only after they've either saved or made hundreds of millions of dollars. So, John, the prize here is bigger than anything we've ever chased before. And that's why I love NVIDIA and Jensen's vision so much, because this is Mr. Exponential here. And NVIDIA is the exponential company. And to think that we had that vision, Jensen had a great conversation with me. He said, Bill, we have to build a company that if everyone called in sick on the same day, the company would run just fine. And so there's a lot in there. And that's what we're doing. We're building the autonomous company. And you know, smart building, autonomous vehicles, even a smart lawnmower. The best products will be AI-driven. They'll be smart products.
Jensen, I want you to peel back for me another announcement that you guys had this week around Parakeet. So this software that you guys have built, of course, on top of your stack, on top of your platform, that I'm hearing is able to translate kind of audio voice to text an hour's worth in 1 second with a 6% word error rate. So this is competitive.
Incredible.
With the most efficient proprietary models out there that I think are in the 2 to 3% range. But this is open source. You guys are just putting this out there. I imagine it's going to be built into games. It's going to be built into enterprise software. It's going to be built into a lot of consumer apps. What's the role of that kind of work that you're doing in seeding the kind of innovation that you're talking about that's going to grow the AI use case and demand for NVIDIA's technology?
We have one of the world's leading industrial laboratories. Incredible research team. We do fundamental research so that we could see the future of algorithms, the future of technology, so we could build the necessary computing platform for it. We also do these fundamental AI research so that we could partner with companies like Bill's, so that our researchers and his researchers could build this revolutionary reasoning model. Now, the future of our AI agents are going to be multimodal in the sense that they'll understand information of any form, including voice and vision. Of course, all of your digital employees will be able to understand information of almost any form. You'll interact with it in almost any way and practically everywhere. And so we want to have this AI research team explore the future and build the best possible AI models for that reason, both for computing reasons as well as so that we could contribute it to the industry and use it to partner with great companies like ServiceNow. Now, one of the things that you were leading up to just now, and ServiceNow is unique in this way in enterprise AI today, they are a full stack company. They build their own infrastructure, host their own AI supercomputers, deliver the services directly to the enterprise companies. They work with the cloud, they work on-prem. As a result, they could deliver excellent quality models, really smart models, really efficiently, cost efficiently, and that interact really fast.
And you've got these models across different industries. So talk to me about who's accelerating now. We talk a lot about customer service and sales as areas that got going early in using AI and using agents. What's the next area, the next industry that you see really powering forward?
Well, we started out, I think the first big one we did together years ago was telco. And it was all about the network and the customer service and all the predictive analytics that have to go into keeping the customer happy so you retain them. Now we're into financial services, we're into manufacturing, we're into pharmaceutical, we're into retail. There literally isn't an industry that we're not touching with agentic AI right now.
What's happening in logistics, given everything that's happening with tariffs?
Great question, John. That's a great question. If you think about the systems that these companies are tied down with today, they were 60-year-old systems that are running the companies we know today. I'm not even getting into the 1959 systems that are running public sector. I'm just talking about the main companies that you know and recognize. They've been around 6 decades. And they were built around rigid org charts. So they serve a particular function within a company very well. The problem is when Steve Jobs brought the iPhone to the market, everybody started with mobile business and they work in teams. And all the decisions are made across functions. So that's why having an east-west, north-south platform powered by Nvidia is such a critical success factor. So what I want to put out there is today, when we announced this reasoning model, we showed people that last year, Jensen and I were talking about avatars, we were talking about voice and animation, and really demonstrating the live agent in an enterprise. 1 year later, we're into reasoning models that are solving complex corporate problems across every function of an enterprise. So my way of thinking of it is, second mover advantage is a really bad idea. Everybody has to get started right now.
Jensen, if policy forces various different developers to effectively build on Huawei, right? Build in that ecosystem, what happens?
The United States has to recognize that we're not the only country in that race, that we have competitors. And so, look, we're confident people, we're a confident country, we have confident companies. We're not afraid of a race. We look forward to a race. Just let us go race. And so I think that now is the time when the United States needs to realize that we need to put the pedal to the metal. We have to fly that plane the way Maverick flies that plane. We've just got to go for it. Waiting around, talking about it, trying to hold other people back, is not necessarily the best move. The best move is let Americans do American. Let us go after it and win it. And so I think that the world is right now hungry, anxious to engage AI. They're hungry for AI. Let us get the American AI out in front of everybody right now.
Speaking of competition, there's some other chip companies out there that would like to try to muscle their way into the data center where Nvidia has been so strong. One of them's reporting today. How fast is the pace development-wise? I know you're on this yearly cadence of new platforms that you need to keep on in order to feel like you're you're keeping that distance, that Usain Bolt distance ahead of the other runners.
We've got to keep reinventing ourselves. You know, when Bill and I first met, Nvidia was really a processor company, a GPU computing company. And then we became a data center company. Today, we're an AI infrastructure company. The projects we are talking about, people are talking to us about, are $50 billion, $100 billion large. $100 billion. Now put that in perspective. That's Boeing. Not the plane, the whole company. And so these projects are gigantic. AI is no longer a data center play. AI is now a factory play, industrial play. It's a new industry. And every country realized that this is now part of your social infrastructure. Every country needs to have it. Just as we had the information infrastructure called the internet, we now have an infrastructure on top of that called the intelligence infrastructure, AI. Every country wants to engage it. So now is the time for us to go after it. Our company has really evolved to now becoming an AI infrastructure company.
On that industry thing, I'm going to talk in a little bit to the CEO of Aptiv, one of your customers in the auto business, which is certainly in the eye of the storm here with the tariff stuff that we've been talking about. What can ServiceNow do for them? What are the unique sort of challenges that you see in an industry like that that has, and I'm not talking about Aptiv specifically, but the broader auto industry, the labor cost issues, the geographic issues, the interconnected supply chain issues?
Yeah, so think of it this way. Right now, if things were status quo, and Jensen and I weren't here and we weren't innovating, there's a $10 trillion legacy tax on the companies run in America. That's 7% of global GDP. So doing what you always did and getting what you always got is insufficient. Change is in the air. So with regard to Aptiv as an example, as policy changes, geopolitical dislocations hit, you have to have a real-time company. The platform has to be able to change in real time. So if you now need to manage around the tariffs and you need to think about tier 2, tier 3 suppliers signing on new ones, a car has 30,000 parts. If you don't manage the tariff scenario properly, you have to pass on a $10,000 extra price to the consumer. They may or may not be able to handle it. So what do the companies have to do? They have to say, okay, I have to figure my margin, perhaps with less revenue, and still have a viable company. So they have to use the power of Nvidia and ServiceNow to manage their OpEx hard and have different scenarios that AI will give them on how to do that, headcount, cost, etc. But at the same time, they have to think about, what am I going to do to grow? I can't roll over and play dead. I have to grow. So we're reimagining businesses and business processes. So let me give you an example. You could sell a commodity piece of hardware and have a certain margin on it. Let's say you want to go direct to consumer to a new market. You're not going to beat the entrenched competitor, but with AI, I can arbitrage the labor and the service model. AI can figure out how I can sell a service contract and give you 4-hour response time that you'll pay 30% more for. Now I got a new business model. Okay. So all of this is happening in real time on the ServiceNow platform. In the old world, you would have to go to business logic, testing, deployment. A year later, you might be able to make the change. We can make the change on the fly with Nvidia and ServiceNow.
Jensen, there are some companies that are rightfully concerned about OpEx, and then there are some companies like Meta that are upping their CapEx range, you know, by the billions, frankly. And we know a lot of that money is going to be spent on your technology. What is, and you told me around earnings time, you're hearing about these build-out plans years in advance, but sometimes it can be lumpy going forward. What is the role that you see of the largest customers, these hyperscalers, in driving the pace of innovation and, frankly, the competition to have the power that these early movers need to really build out AI?
The early hyperscalers realized a very profound insight, that they are now intelligence factories. They're intelligence generators. It's not a data center that stores information. It's a factory that produces intelligence. And these intelligence tokens could be reformulated into music, images, words, avatars, recommendations of music, movies, or, you know, supply chain optimization techniques. And so it could be reformulated into intelligence. They realize that they build factories now. And these factories are gigantic in scale. The old data center industry is still going to get reformulated into AI. It's a $1 trillion industry. It's going to be reinvented. But on top of that, it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar AI factory industry. It's going to require energy, but it's going to generate growth. This is the new insight. Some of the old thinking is, how much of the old data center CapEx is going to be used for AI? That's interesting, but the big idea really is that there's a new industry in town. It's called AI factories, and they're producing intelligence at scale.
Got to leave it there for now. Bill, thank you. Jensen, thank you. Bill, I know you're coming back. You're going to join me in overtime.
I'll be back, but again, I want to thank you, Jensen. It's an honor to be with you as always, my friend.
I just want to say, I want my ServiceNow.
You got it, Jensen. We're going to give it to you. Thank you, Jensen.
Right. Kelly, back to you.
The best.
John Ford, Jensen Huang, Bill McDermott, our thanks. And that's it for Power Lunch today. Closing bell starts now.
All right, welcome to Closing Bell. I'm Scott Wapner, live from Post 9 right here at the New York Stock Exchange. This make or break hour begins with stocks on edge today. A Fed decision less than 24 hours away now. No progress at all either on trade talks with China. We'll get to all of that. But here's how the majors look with 60 to go in regulation. A defensive day really from the jump today. Utilities are the best performing space. That kind of says it all. The VIX pushing 25, yields are steady. The 10-year, though, has been backing up lately, and that is something to keep an eye on, too. Plays into the Fed decision and the meeting, obviously. We'll get to all of that in a